few seconds or so. That one there. Let's have a look. There's tier 3 and there's tier 2. Recommend watching those as well. Those are bound to be half decent races, I'm sure. Get the detail up. Oh, yeah, we'll keep detail. Telemetry, lap data, track map. Fantastic. Now, I'll quickly check the channel. Scroll down. There's Pacific Tier 1. It's loading onto the channel now. Just need to give it a bit.
Live.
Are we live? Yeah,
Yep.
for me it's a bit delayed for some reason. Maybe if I switch accounts, as I just want to make sure everything is working as it should. There it is. Okay, fantastic. So we are live. So the stream's up, chat's up, and the audio is working as it should. Fantastic. So hello everyone, and welcome to round 5 of the PlayStation Pacific Tier 1 Championship here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your lead commentator for this event, and this time we are racing at Circuit Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. This 5.84 kilometer 15 turn circuit was built in 1969, and it has one incredibly unique characteristic. It has an enormous amount of tarmac runoff area, more than any other racetrack on the Formula One calendar. So, if a driver makes a mistake, there's plenty of room to try and fix it. The circuit has 2 DRS zones that lead into turn 1, and the best overtaking spot on the circuit, the Mistral chicane of turns 8 and 9, and these two gentlemen are coming through that right now. The drivers have to be mindful of the inside curb at turn 2, getting on the power at the exit of 6. The flat-out right-hander of Senior, turn 10, especially if it's raining. Hopefully you get a weather report soon. And the reducing radius left-hander of turn 12. For my experiences as a driver, that's always a tricky corner to get right, especially if you're not using a racing line. In the real world, Circuit Paul Ricard isn't a circuit well known for great racing. Usually it's rather a dull race, with the 2021 French Grand Prix being a bit of an exception to that. In the virtual world, however, I know this circuit is capable of making some awesome racing, so hopefully we get to see some tonight. Now, before we focus on qualifying and all the other necessary stuff, there is a little bit of news to go through first from last week's race at Silverstone. There were 2 incident reports, one of which involving the man on screen here, Spilly, and G-Force Ford, where they made contact in the most basic form. Spilly breathed on G-Force Ford, and the game gave him a 5-second time penalty. Now, Spilly tried to get that removed, but because he didn't supply a race director, he couldn't. So his 5-second time penalty stands. And probably the biggest incident of that night was what happened on the first lap. We saw Karma and someone else retire. Wasn't racing up there. I couldn't quite remember who retired with Karma. Yep. But if you want to visualize what happened on the first lap, ladies and gentlemen, just think back to 2014 with Kimi Raikkonen at the same. It was literally the same thing. And as a result, Karma got a penalty of 3 penalty points next to his name for violating Rule 3.1.3 of the Race Spec Racing rules. So he has that now next to his name. Looking in the Drivers' Championship, Spilly is leading on 87, followed by GeForce Crichton on 85, so only 2 points separating those two. Then it's Fiery Hour in P3 on 76. He's 11 points behind Spilly, 9 behind Crichton. Then we got Wogboy on 56 in P4. P5 is Chip on 47. GeForce Ford is next on 43. Plebs and Will equal 8th on 42 points, followed by Leo on 30, and Scotty completes the top 10 on 29. Looking at the constructors, it is rather astonishing. Mercedes are leading on 161 points, followed by Aston Martin on 100. They got a 61-point lead after 4 rounds. It's quite a big gap. Then McLaren are next on 69, so it's basically a 2-horse race already at the top of the table. Ferrari are 4th on 65, then Williams on 60. Red Bull on 47 in P6, then Alpine on 37 in P7, then Haas 8th on 29 points, followed by Alfa Romeo on 23, and AlphaTauri at the bottom of the order with 14 points. But that's basically it in terms of qualifying. In terms of news, we can now focus on qualifying. And I would like to introduce the man sitting next to me, metaphorically speaking. He commentated with me back at Silverstone. He's back again, Mr. Alex Pato. Thank you very much for joining me here once again. Like I said, it's always nice having an extra pair of eyes looking over the racetrack. And rather coincidentally enough, you did a bit of practice with some of these guys before. So what are you expecting out of this French Grand Prix?
Okay, so bonjour à tous, bienvenue au Ricard. So yeah, thank you for letting me join again in the commentary box. It's gonna be a really close qualifying, I think, because the times are gonna a good time on softs on this tier should be high 28, more or less.
Okay.
So we're gonna see, I think, for GeForce Crichton and all the GeForce boys actually trying to get this benchmark and try and get this time. It's a really tricky track in the race, especially because of the track limits. Because in qualifying you tend to get aggressive on every single curb, and if you get used to it, to this style of driving, then in the race you're gonna risk getting a lot of penalties and track warnings. So let's see. It's not easy to overtake around here. It seems easy, but it's not, because there's the long Mistral straight is really long. But if you get a bad if you're behind someone in the corner before the Mistral straight, you will get heaps of dirty air. So it's not so easy to get stuck to the car in front.
Fair enough.
And hopefully we will have a really nice race and a nice battle between our drivers.
There's also an interesting factor that we're seeing play out right now. Quite a few drivers are trying to set times on the mediums. Now, the ideal strategy around here, it's something along the lines of either a soft hard or medium hard, or even a two-stop, I think, is viable around this circuit, isn't it, Alex?
Well, a two-stop, if there's a safety car, the two-stop can work. The problem is that it's like Silverstone, basically, because the speed limit here is 60 kph, and you're gonna lose like 25 seconds if you do one stop more. So if you know you've got the pace, maybe it can work, but usually I think the drivers will stick to the one-stop strategy, either soft hard or medium hard. The mediums work really well. The softs in the race just drop like after 4 or 5 laps, just like it happens in China, more or less.
Yeah.
And we'll see what the drivers will decide, because starting on mediums in top 10 will be a really good advantage towards the second half of the race, I think.
As Kavudi has a bit of a spin there, exiting turn 9. He's now got a missing front wing. He'll have to go back into the pits to get that fixed. But currently, only a few drivers have set times on the mediums, that being Karma and Hillers, and they're down in P7 and 8. Currently 1.8 seconds off the pace of pole position, so there's a fair old gap between the medium compound tyre and the softs as Scotty jumps up to P4. And something I read as well, I think in the comment section of the stream, we should have rain 30 minutes into the race. So at 30-minute mark, we'll have a bit of rain introduce itself. That'll be fairly interesting. Depending on when it will come out, maybe drivers could try and stretch the medium compound tyre until it's intermediate conditions, or start on the mediums, hop onto the soft tyre, which is the better tyre to be on in those intermediate, sort of that dry intermediate, sort of in between conditions. So strategy is definitely going to play out if that's true, if we do have rain incoming. So, and that will definitely spice things up.
Yeah, of course. And you know what, like it's already 10 minutes gone in qualifying, and it's just 10 drivers who set up the time. I think some drivers, just looking at the weather, maybe are thinking about starting on hards
Potentially.
from P11 and then try to go for the one-stop strategy and go straight into intermediates when it starts raining. This could be also a good idea.
Well, maybe this race of all races, maybe 11th is the actual pole position rather than qualifying first. That way you can be as far up as possible but have that free selection of tyre choice, which they're actually removing for this year in the 2022 season. I read in a report they're dumping the tyre rules from qualifying. So we won't have to worry about that anymore in next year's game. You can start on whatever tyre you want. So interesting to see how that all pans out. But Mr. Crichton here is about to complete a flying lap. He's on the soft compound tyre. He'll cross the line to go into the 28s with a 1 minute 28.720. Well, you said, Alex, you'll be looking at a high 28. Well, there is one. That's actually a mid to high 28, so not a bad lap.
Yes, it is. Really good lap.
But, yeah, still a fair few drivers, 6 in total now. Someone else has set a lap time. I think might have been Fiery Hour. I think who jumped up there to P3, just trying to judge off the mini-map. Mr. Roscoe here is making his way through the Mistral chicane, heading towards Senior, turn 10. Now, turn 10 is a cakewalk in the dry. In the wet, though, this turn, it changes to a complete nightmare in wet weather conditions. It's a bit like Copse Corner in a way. Copse, for the most part, is fairly simple in the dry. You can take it flat out. You do have to be mindful of the curbs at Copse Corner. But in the wet, my goodness, that's probably the scariest corner on the track. One of the scariest corners in F1 in the wet. And turn 10 is very much the same here at Circuit Paul Ricard, as Roscoe Arm will cross the control line to jump up to P7 to do a 29.8. Got some yellow flags in the first sector. Nothing too bad to report, I think. It's just drivers getting out of the way. Hiller's getting ready. Wogboy here has just gone 6/10 up in the middle sector. He's making his way through the final sector, now heading towards turn 10. Turn 11. This is actually one of my favourite corners in F1. I love turn 11 here. It's a very high-speed entry. You brake very late. If you miss the apex, you lose a fair bit of time. And there's a bit of camber on the exit that helps you out to try and rotate the car. I don't know why, I just find the corner quite fascinating, and I always enjoy going around that turn. As Wogboy will cross the line to set a 30.1 and goes to P11.
It's really similar to the spoon curve at Suzuka, actually, on the other side. It's a double apex corner where you need to get super fast in the first apex and then try to get as much of exit speed as you can in the second apex. It's really challenging, to be honest, and I agree with you. It's a really nice corner.
One of the redeeming things, though, with this version compared to Spoon has auto spin curbs at the apex.
Yeah.
So if you touch those, you go for a spin, which is never fun. Anyway, we're right on board here with Hillers, and we'll give you a proper tour of this 5.8 kilometre 15-turn racetrack. We're heading down the main straightaway into turn 1. It is a potential overtaking spot, but it's not an easy one. Around turn 2, you do have to be a bit mindful of that inside curb. It has claimed a few drivers over its lifetime as he invalidates at turn 3. Ouch. He ran wide at entry, and as a result his lap is invalid, and he'll have another go shortly. Let's see here. Is Kavudi about to start? Well, alright, we'll use Kavudi here, although I think he's actually going to complete a flying lap. Yep, he goes to 13th with a 30.4. Let's see. We're getting pretty tight on time, and I don't want to be busy looking at somebody else when I should be looking at the front runners, because I did that last time, and I missed out on a pretty epic lap from Crichton. So, We'll
I'm
probably
gonna help you checking the times.
Yeah, better keep an eye. We only have 2 drivers in the 28s at the moment, that being Crichton and Spilly. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if we saw a few more drivers creep into the 28s. Namely Ford, he's very close. As Spilly ducks back into the pit lane. He must have just done oh, he's got a red flashing light, so he must have just done a flying lap. So he's back. I don't think he'll have enough time to set... No, wait, yeah, no. He won't be able to set another lap with the time left. Unless he cuts everything. Or actually...
I think it's gonna... Yeah, it's gonna be quite borderline for him.
He might have to cut a thing or two, but if he does that and he's caught, then he gets a big old slap on the wrist. There's a Tinselman here is on a flying lap. He's currently P6 in the AlphaTauri, heading through turn 8 into turn 9. This is easily the best overtaking spot on the whole racetrack. Back onto the Mistral straight, heading towards turn 10, keeping it nice and pinned. He's up by 2/10 in the middle sector. Flat out at 300 kilometers an hour. You could only imagine the G-forces the driver has to put up with through that curve. Around turn 11. Fourth gear, easy on the throttle, keeping the back end in check, doing a good job. Around turn 12 with the Mercedes a bit in the way. It's fiery hour. But that's okay. I don't think it affected him too much. Just provided a bit of a distraction. Around the final corner, turn 15, which is one of my least favourite corners in Formula 1. I hate that turn. It's so finicky. It's very difficult to get it right. As Tinselman goes 4th fastest, he improves by half a second to set a 29.270. A fiery hour has just started. He's making his way around turn 2, using all of the exit curve there as he heads towards turns 3, 4 and 5. Yellow flags there as Tinselman gets out of the way. Nice job there. Around turn 5, what does the first sector say for fiery hour? It says he's up by 1.5 tenths. He needs to improve though by 6 if he wants pole position, and that won't be easy. He's heading down towards the chicane. The DRS wide open, the speedo climbs over 320 kilometers an hour. He heads into the chicane, shifts down to 4th gear, then down to 3rd for turn 9. Back on the accelerator, back onto the Mistral straight. What does the middle sector say for fiery hour? He's up by 0.3 of a second. G-Force Ford is making his way through the first sector, through turn 3, then turn 4, into turn 5. What does sector 1 say for 40? He's up by 0.08. What about Crichton, our current pole sitter? The clock says he's down by 0.03 on his personal best. Fiery hour is making his way through the final part of the racetrack as Plevs jumps up to P4 with a 29.186 around the final corner now. Gets a drive on the exit, gets on the power, opens DRS. He heads towards the control line. Fiery hour jumps up to pole position with a 128.628, beating his teammate Crichton by less than 1/10 of a second. Crichton's still down on his personal best. Ford, he's down on his personal best. So both of these drivers need a mega final sector. Around turn 12 comes Ford. Gets on the power as early as he dares. Uses all the curb on the outside. Around turn 13. Around the penultimate corner of 14. Nice and steady on the brakes. Nice and steady on the power. Gets it rotated for the final corner. Stamps on the gas. Opens DRS. Has he done enough? Will he improve? Will he take pole position? He does improve, but only to P3. What about Crichton? Can he take pole away? The answer is no. He cannot improve. He stays in 2nd place. Anyone else? Grim Reaper isn't on a lap. Average Only isn't on a lap. Scotty just might be. He's making his way around turn 14. He's got the final corner of 15 to negotiate. Gets on the power as early as he can. Opens DRS as he heads down the main straight for the final time in qualifying. Crosses it. It goes P9 with a 29.6. And Karma, his session is done as well. So it's fiery hour on pole position at the end of this qualifying session. Well, your prediction was fairly accurate. The G-Force guys are at the front, but none of them are on pole. Instead, it's fiery hour. And I think Everyone inside the top 10 have set times on the softs. Fair enough. And look at how many people tried to set times on the mediums. Leo, Wogboy, Kavudi, Chip, G-Force Zach and Hilles. All of them tried to set their best laps on the mediums.
Yeah, the delta between new softs and new mediums is about 1.3 seconds.
Fair enough.
And yeah, so as you can see, like between Fariawan and Leo, which is the first medium runner, it's 1.4 seconds.
1.3, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, fairly big delta between the softs and the mediums. So those medium runners, they couldn't get inside the top 10, not with the time delta between the two compounds. But no, I think they'll be just as thankful starting on fresh tyres than starting on worn mediums. It'll be interesting to see what people decide to go with. Whether they go on the mediums or go on the hards. I don't think anyone will start on the soft tyre outside the top 10. But I do believe this is Fiery Hour's first pole position, beating his teammate Crichton by less than a tenth of a second. 40 lines up P3, with Spilly in P4, then Plebs in 5th, Tinselman in P6, Grim Reaper in 7th, Average Only in 8th, Scotty in 9th, and Roscoe Arm completes the top 10. We have Karma in 11th, Bags in 12th, Leo in 13th, Wogboy in 14th, Kavudi in 15th, Chip in 16th, Zach in 17th, and Hilles will start from the back of the field in 18th place. Not a bad qualifying session. 1 second separates P1 down to effectively P9. So pretty tight at the end. Good to see. But I haven't greeted chat. Hello KD, hello Scotty, hello Gavin, hello ACW, hello Spilly. Well, Spilly's called it. This race will be won on strategy, not speed.
Agree.
There we go. Well, you got Alex on your side, Spilly.
I completely agree. And it's going to be really interesting now with the Mercedes locking up the front row. Like, if there's going to be like a 2016 version of Mercedes or just like a 2020 version of Mercedes. Like, let's see if these two drivers...
Time will tell, Alex. Time will tell. Because, oh, hello, Candy Cane. Just saw that. Hello. But, yeah, it will be interesting because we saw Fiery Hour behind Spilly back at Silverstone. He got rather fiery, didn't he? Weaving quite a bit. So we know he's quite a quick driver. We know Crichton's a quick driver. He's defending champion 4 times over. 4 times or 5 times? No, I think it might be 5 times over. He's won every single Pacific Tier 1 championship, I think. Pretty sure I'm not wrong in saying that. In Race Spec history. Alrighty. Who's starting on what? Well then. It's actually a 50-50 split at the back of the field. So the top 10... all of them are starting on the soft tyre they qualified on. Karma is first in P11 on hard compound tyres, followed by Bags, also on the hard tyre. Then Leo on the mediums in P13. Then Wogboy on the hard tyre in 14th. Then Kavudi and Chip, the 2 Red Bulls, they're on the mediums. They're on the same strategy. Compare that to Alfa Romeo, though. They're doing a split strategy. So G-Force Zach on a set of hards, in Hilles, who was backwards, who reset the track. I think that's okay. That's on the formation lap. Who cares about that? He's on a set of mediums. Now, Alex, if you qualified outside the top 10 in these sort of circumstances, what would you have done?
I would have chosen to go for the hards.
Fair enough.
Because especially with the rain, like the hards can give you track position after like 7-8 laps, first of all, and if there's a safety car, you have a big advantage. You're gonna struggle a bit in the first few laps, especially if you're Karma. Like, you need to watch out for Leo, Kabudi, and all the medium runners.
Yeah.
But still, I think if you start P11, P12, I think the alternate strategy always works. always works. Like, especially in these tracks where you've got more than two strategies available. It's not like Silverstone, like you can choose where you can choose from soft to medium and medium to soft. There's not much of an alternative. I would have chosen to go for the hards.
Fair enough.
To be honest.
And I think I would agree with you. It gives you the greatest amount of flexibility when it comes to the weather. So I think I would have chosen the hard tyre as well. If I was a gambling man, maybe the mediums. But looking back at chat, hello Billy Lacey. Turn 1 crash incoming. Well, that's entirely possible. Turn 1 is rather quick. So if you get some side-by-side action through there, you might get a sideboard glitch. That's entirely possible. Where a front tyre hits a side pod and the car spins out. Happened on several occasions.
That's not what we opt for, though.
No. But these guys are some of the best within Oceania, so they know what they're doing. And they're all planning to get through the opening corners unscathed. Hopefully. Gilles is lined up ready to race, so is everyone else. It's a Mercedes-Benz lockout on the front row. We have 10 red lights. And we are underway here in Le Castellet. Crichton gets a ripper start on the outside. Could he lead the field at the exit of turn 1? Here comes the field barreling into the first turn. They're side by side, the Mercedes, as they go through turn 2. Fiery Hour tries to hang on, but Crichton's got a nose in front. They're still side by side, heading down towards turn 3. They're still side by side as they head around turn 4. Into the hairpin of 5. Crichton has the inside line. Plebs is trying to go through on the inside too. As they head around turn 6. Oh, a bit of contact there through the right-hander. Into turn 7. Onto the Mistral straight. Oh, that is tight between Plebs and Fiery Hour. Oh, yellow flags. That's G-Force Zach spinning out as Plebs is trying to go for the lead. He's looking around the long way of Crichton, heading towards the chicane. Crichton goes deep, though, to cover him off as they head around turn 9. They go back onto the straight. Ford is up into 3rd place, so Fiery Hour down 3 positions off the start. Not ideal, but he hasn't lost too much time to the leaders, which is the main thing. As Ford is looking around the long way at turn 10. What a maniac. As Plebs is trying to look down the inside at turn 11. Can't get that done. Fordy's looking left and right to try and take the lead. As Plebs forces his way back into 2nd place. Oh, G-Force Ford does a joker lap there and rejoins in 3rd. He's right in front of Fiery Hour, who's trying to get by the Williams around turn 13. Into turn 14 now, still working away. I think the front are now settled. No unnecessary dive bombs here at the final corner. Thank goodness. What an action-packed first lap at the front. It's Crichton who leads, Plebs in 2nd, Ford in 3rd, Fiery Hour in 4th place, followed by Spelly, Tinselman, average only, Grim Reaper, Scotty and Roscoe Arm. That's the top 10. And poor old G-Force Zach. Oh dear. Got in some sort of mistake on the first lap. He's last place and he's a long way behind, unfortunately, as Chip overtakes Bags for P14. No, a very good start, a very tame start here at Circuit Paul Ricard.
Exactly, what a start from Plebs. He gained 3 positions, he went super aggressive in the first 5 corners. And he almost challenged for the lead as well. Like, he's gained 3 positions, he's looking really feisty. And I think the biggest loser here is Fiery Hour, because like from P1 to P4 doesn't look too good for him at the moment.
And he lost out a little bit there at the exit of turn 9. He was incredibly sideways, managed to gather it back up, but he's now got Spilly right on his gearbox. But now Spilly has to put up with what Fiery Hour had to put up with at Silverstone. So I'm sure Fiery Hour isn't going to let Spilly by anytime soon. But not too many people moving up or down the leaderboards. Looking at the position change, like Plebs is up 3, Fiery Hour down 3, Leo's up 2, Chipper's up 2, Hiller's up 3. Biggest loser is actually Bags. He's down 4 positions from the start as Crichton sets a new fastest lap, obviously. He's got clear air, he's on soft tyres, he's going to be quick. And he's actually got a 1 second margin to Plebs. That could prove to be critical if he's out of DRS range already. As Plebs, he's actually not having a great time. He missed the apex of both 4 and 5. And he's now got G-Force Ford right on his gearbox.
It should be an easy overtake for Ford. Let's see.
Yeah, pulls out. And away he goes. Easy as you like. What about Fiery Hour, though? He's close. Plebs just sort of moves a little bit there, saying, mate, don't go for it yet. Okay, it's lap 3. Don't send it, please. Or it's Grim Reaper. Oh, no, it's average only. Has spun. And he tumbles down to 17th place. Poor fella. Gets going again. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. We'll look away from that. Won't look at that too much. Don't want to embarrass the poor fella. That's what happens when your tyres get too hot. You just got no grip. You need to be very, very careful when trying to get the car back in working order, because it's so easy for it to go away from you. There's Crichton, and here comes the rest of the field, barreling their way around the final corner. Down onto the main straight once again. With a 1.7 second lead. Ford has closed in a little bit. Just a little bit. Down this straightaway as they head into turn 1. What a massive train of cars. As Wogboy overtakes Karma. That was with DRS. Fair enough. There's a bit of a gap between Wogboy and Leo, so hopefully he'll be able to get the hammer down. Try and close that gap. Bring himself back into the fight with the top 10 runners. Oh, is Roscoe Arm and Leo here having a bit of a look-see down the inside there, Leo. But he couldn't make it work. He's right on the back of Roscoe Arm. Here we go. Got DRS. He's trying to draw alongside. Can't quite do it just yet. Scotty might get involved here too if he's unlucky. Side by side through turn 8. And Leo had to pull out. There's no way he could stay there on the inside. Otherwise he would have spun out through turn 8. Simply through contact or something of the like. Fiery Hour on the back of Plebs. Yeah, not close enough. Not really close enough. Oh, and Wogboy's caught up. Look at that. He's within a second.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, like, this battle between Roscoe and Leo helped GeForce Wogboy and Karma big time, because now they've got DRS again.
Well, there you go. So from P2 all the way down to, what is it, P16? That's the DRS train we've got. They're all in a train. All of them. Within 1 second of each other. Scotty dipped out of it. So did Grim Reaper briefly. Oh, as Fiery Hour's getting fiery. He's trying to find a way past the two in front. How about that? A huge DRS train at poor Ricard. Oh, and Reaper's actually lost time. Can he get back within that 1 second range? The DRS detection zone is at the exit of turn 6. Coming around turn 6 now. 1.2 seconds. 1.1. No, he hasn't done enough. He's just out of range. Really unfortunate. He's going to lose a fair bit of time to the leaders. Plebs, does he go for a move? Yes, he's going for it. Down the inside of turn 8. And he's back into P2. Fairly elementary overtake. It's what you typically see at Circuit Paul Ricard. Now, can Ford fight back, perhaps? Yeah, doesn't really look like it. He's 1/10 behind. He has to go for a fairly audacious move. Yeah, he stays behind. That's a wise thing to do in that sort of situation. Plebs runs a tad bit wide there. There's Crichton. Hello, Crichton. Bye, Crichton. You're well out in front now. 2.5 seconds is the gap between P1 and 2. Around turn 13.
Watch out for Leo, because it's side by side with Roscoe.
Oh, hello. Oh, will he try and send it in? Oh, he's trying contact! Spin! Spin! They both spin! Oh dear, Thankfully, Ghosting has kicked in at the right moment. Otherwise, that could have been a lot nastier. Oh, well, thank you very much, Alex, for that. Right on cue with that call. So we could capture that on stream. That's your one, buddy. That is all thanks to you. I wouldn't have caught that. Too busy looking at the front. See, that's a problem with only me behind the helm. I have to try and decide where to look. And with a field that's closely bunched up like this, it's very difficult to try and work out where to look. Basically, I have to try and rely on luck and the interval. Try and work it out. Oh, hello. Can Fordy go back for second? Well, he's drawn alongside. He's past Plebs. He's back into P2. Because of this little bit of squabbling, it's nothing major. But Crichton, he's just gone. There he is there. Bye, Crichton, again. He's just out in front, enjoying life. But as Spilly mentioned in the comments section, and as Alex agreed upon, strategy is going to play a bigger part in this when the weather comes. So, Plebs has a big movement there before 12.
Wow, they're so close. This power for P2.
It is tight. It is very... understeer there from Plebs. There was a door open for Fiery Hour, but it wasn't quite big enough for him to fit through. As Grim Reaper goes into the pit lane, so does Scotty. So a few drivers pitting in now. Probably to move on to the mediums, I would guess. Heading down the main straightaway. No overtakes at turn 1. Nothing yet. What about Karma and Chip here? They're fairly close together. We might see some action here in a little bit, I'd imagine. Yeah. What's that? About 1 second separating these four? Bit more if you include Tinselman. It's very close. Exiting turn 6, around 7. Plebs might be close enough. This will give us a good idea how powerful DRS is. He was 5 tenths behind. He's now 3 tenths behind. 2.5 tenths, 2 tenths, 1.5 tenths. Oh my goodness. He closed up like 4 tenths as Chip makes a move on Karma. Did that down the straightaway, fairly simple. Gets that done. Karma in P9. Currently the second highest placed driver on the hard tyre. The highest place is Wogboy in P7. Around turn 11 come this leading group battling for P2. Around turn 12 they go. It's unfortunate the drivers aren't able to do too much through this section other than just follow the leader.
Yeah, exactly. And right now, I think some of the soft runners are just trying to extend. Credon is in the pits and Spilly as well. Let's just touch the back and forward. Maybe waiting for this rain, they're gonna just extend the stint on the softs to put new softs.
Perhaps.
Could be another good idea.
As Plebs makes a move at turn 1 to take the lead. Oh, it's raining! It's raining! There's raindrops on the halo. It is raining! My goodness.
It is now.
Oh! Well then. Isn't this a major part of the plot? It is raining on lap 8. It has started to rain. The heavens have opened. The co-master gods have said their word, and here comes 40. He's going for the move.
And watch out now, because, it started raining, but maybe it's just not...
That's right.
It's not going to be 100% sure. We're not going to be 100% sure about, being... the track being ready for intermediates on lap 11 or 12. It just happened to me last week on Silverstone. It started raining on lap 8, and the track was ready for inters on lap 21. So... let's see what happens.
No, I've seen a few races like that, especially at Spa. I see them a lot at Spa, where the track takes forever to evolve into a wet weather track, or an intermediate track, I should say. Contact between Plebs and Fiery Hour at the exit of turn 12. They make their way around 13. These fellas are still scrapping it out. Into the pits comes Fiery Hour. Pulls it up nicely. But what does he do? What do you do in these sort of situations?
He's surely going to put new softs on.
You would think so. You would want to be on the soft top. Inters! That's too early. That should be too early. It's still only sprinkling. Oh, well, it's getting a bit heavier. This is very interesting. Hilez has done the same. As Wogboy's right on the back of Tinselman. Those 8-lap-old soft tyres won't be feeling too great now. The hard tyres, well, they would have started to come alive, but with these conditions, it will cool the tyres down. Take them out of their optimal temperature range. Should be a fairly simple move, I imagine. Tinselman can't really do too much. And here comes Chip. Like a bat out of hell, he moves himself into 4th place. All that overspeed, that momentum. Thanks to DRS, it slingshotted him into 4th. It's Tinselman has a moment and a half. And here comes Karma. through into P5. Oh, now turn 10. Oh, it'll be tricky in these conditions. My goodness. As Kavudi makes a move on Leo, I think I saw there. Oh, and Leo's having none of it. The two make contact, that being Tinselman and Leo. Oh, and spinning. It's Tinselman. Well, half spinning. He's now down in 9th place. Now,
this is so tricky.
It is. This has thrown a massive spanner into the works. What did the drivers do? Now, look at that gap between Fiery Arrow and Grim Reaper. It's increasing massively. 5.3, 5.4. It's not time for inters. It is so not time for inters. Around the long way goes Kavudi. Leo's having none of it though, but he can't fight down the inside. Kavudi is into P6.
I'm looking at Ford Race Director. He's basically losing 2 seconds per lap, so I think it's gonna be inter time like in 3 or 4 laps time. Should be. But right now the soft runners are gonna I'm gonna struggle big time. 10 laps on these softs are... Look at Warboy, for example, on hards. It's much quicker. You just can see it.
And here comes Plevs going for a move on Ford, who defends the inside line. Can't get it done. Chip is right behind Wogboy as well. You can see in the wing mirrors, he's right there. I'll keep looking forward though for now. Just for now. We might take a few glances back, see the fellas behind. But we got a train of cars from P1 down to P8. They're all in a train. Big lift there. Big wiggle from 40. He goes off the racetrack. He will rejoin, but he's now down in... Oh, it's tight between him and Chip. They're side by side at the exit of 11, and Chip is through into 3rd. So 40 down to 4th place. Leo now looking around the outside. Here at turn 12. Can he make it stick? He's trying to. He's off the road a little bit. They're side by side around 13. There's another wiggle. 40. He's losing control of the car, and he's ducking into pit lane. A lot of drivers are ducking in, actually. Oh, hang on. They're side by side. Oh, they get through. Okay. Because you don't want to go side by side at pit entry here at Paul Ricard. Definitely, it's a one-way road. One-lane road. Oh, hello. Intermediates. A lot of drivers moving on to inters. I don't know. DRS hasn't been disabled yet, is it? Oh, it's back spins. He spins. At turn 2, that inside curb claiming a driver. Oh, dear. He gets going with a whole heap of wheel spin. Hello, Crichton. He gets going again, down in 4th now.
It's not going to be ready for inters, but the soft runners have got no choice. And Wombo is struggling for grip. It's really struggling for grip. So let's see, because Wombo and Karma will go to the pits, but they can wait for 1 or 2 laps and see what they can do. And Pradon is gaining big time as well. He needs to push.
100%. Gap is just under 8 seconds between him and Karma. And that gap will close. He's on fresher tyres. He's on a better compound on the mediums. So he should gain. And he gained like 4 tenths through that chicane alone. So he is well and truly flying out there. Meanwhile, in intermediate land, we've got Plevs at the front, followed by Chip, Leo, GeForce Ford. We're all in a train. And Plevs isn't losing ground, I think, to Grim Reaper. Oh, Ford is awfully close. Can't really make a move.
Let's go wide.
Oh, here we go. On the exit, Sector 3 yellows. Someone has spun. It's Tinselman. Down the inside goes 40 at turn 12. They're side by side. Oh, and he just gets him. You're kidding. He had so much grip down the inside. Oh, and Plants is out. He has crashed at the exit of turn 12. There he is there on the right-hand side of the circuit. He's our first retirement of the race. And amazingly, we don't have a safety car. Crichton has boxed for me intermediates. A whole heap of drivers are boxing for inters as DRS is disabled. So there's the call. And Wogboy is leading. He's out in front, followed by GeForce Ford. Then Chip. Leo is right on the back of the Red Bull. They're heading towards turn 3. He tries to draw alongside. He has. He's down the inside here at turn 3. And he gets it done. He's on to the podium in 3rd. Oh. How about that?
Amazing. Amazing job for Wogboy.
Absolutely. And Chip He's in a pretty decent position himself. He's definitely not out of this just yet. Now it's only a matter of how long will the rain last. Will it stay with us throughout the rest of the race, or will it go away? That I don't know. Well, it said... Is this about 30 minutes into the race, you reckon?
Well, no. But like with approximate weather, then you never know.
Is it approximate? Is that the setting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Because you can switch on a perfect weather setting, give you fairly accurate weather indicators. But if it's on approximate, then that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Right.
Untitled and still on mediums, struggling for grip.
Yeah, poor fella. He'll come in, put on some inters, and get back out there. Now, with these wet weather conditions, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a few incidents here and there. It is rather tricky to negotiate some parts of the circuit. We've mentioned turn 10 earlier, but corners like the exit of turn 6, turn 7 even, can be a hazard zone if you're not careful. As Crichton has a big wiggle at the exit of turn 2. He and his teammate, they locked out the front row at the end of qualifying. They're currently occupying P6 and 7, and they're a fair way behind the leaders. So they've got a fair bit of work to do. The rest of the field, though, is pretty well spread out. This is the closest battle we have. And I reckon Crichton isn't just going to sit around and wait. I think Fiery Hour, he would like to get a move on and have some clear air. But be interesting to see how these two drivers work with each other and or work against each other. Suppose we'll find out. But,
and now Ford is really close to Walkboy, but it's really hard to overtake on wet conditions on this game. So let's see if he can do this, he can pull this off, but it's going to be really hard for him.
Well, where would you do it? Would it, like, there's no real way to try and gather momentum, try and send it on someone. You sort of have to rely on the person you're battling with to make a mistake, so then you can get the run to try and pass. Because I completely agree with you. Wet weather racing in this game is rubbish. Like, it's very tough to pass. It is insanely tough to pass.
Yeah, well, the best Ford could do is like putting pressure on Walkboy and forcing him into a mistake. That's the only way you can get through, I think. Especially with those drivers who are really even matched on pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Either that or it's one almighty dive bomb. Which would be interesting to see. And 40, he's got a bit of a run. Yeah. And there he goes.
Yeah, Walkboy went wide on the exit.
Yep. As I mentioned earlier, you have to rely on someone making a mistake. As Crichton gets through as well into P6. Oh, he has a bit of a wiggle there. And so does Fiery Hour. A bit of communication there between the Mercedes drivers. Is that a happy wiggle or an angry wiggle or a frustrated wiggle? I don't know. But, it's definitely a wiggle.
I think it's just a way of Crichton of saying, don't overtake me back. I've got more pace.
Let me catch up. Let me drag you along.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe a good wiggle. A tactical wiggle, I guess. Around. Man, I wish there was some way to have some sort of radio stuff between drive. That would be so much fun. That would be so much fun if there was a radio thing we could tap in. Like the drivers do in the broadcasters do in real life. Problem is, it'd be difficult to censor stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I think our Race Spec channel will be banned in like 0.2 seconds.
Yes. But it would be so much fun if it was. But now the field is starting to spread out that little bit more. This is what you typically see in wet weather conditions. As Fiery Hour gets a 3-second time penalty. So he and 4 other drivers have got penalties at the moment. Roscoe Arm has 3 seconds, so does Grim Reaper, G4 Sack, and Average Only down in 15th. So a few penalties being dished out already. Still got a bit of racing to get through. We don't need a tyre graphic, they're all on the intermediates. Look at those position changes. Got 40 in the lead up 2, then you got Wogboy up 12, Leo up 10, and Chip up 12. Karma up 6. Kavudi there in P8, he's up 7. Oh, hello. That's...
Oh my god.
Was that Spilly and Scotty?
No, it was Fiery Hour, like on the exit of the chicane. He had a big wiggle.
I see. So that wasn't a tactical wiggle. That was oh god wiggle. Oh god, oh F word wiggle. That one. Yeah, you can see he's lost a fair bit of ground to his teammate. 1.3 seconds behind. Crichton, he's within range of Karma. How will he try and get by? Comes out to the final corner. And look at him go! The traction he found! Holy moly! He had all the traction there. The exit of the final corner. He's into P5. That's how he gets by. Just like that.
That's surely a glitch. He's racing on dry tires for sure.
Has to be. He's on a different racetrack. Oh, dear me. Let's see. Anybody else battling? As Crichton tries to catch up to Chip. We'll look at that in just a moment. Got Bags and Roscoe Arm fairly close. We got Fiery Hour trying to close in on Karma now. He's 7/10 behind. He's coming through the chicane now. It's important that he doesn't make the mistake he did the last lap that you pointed out, Alex, and he doesn't. He keeps the car nice and straight. No wiggling there from Fiery Hour. As he comes around turn 10, doesn't really close in too much on Karma. They now head around turn 11. It appears that the rain is staying with us for a while. I think the conditions are becoming more and more intermediate, more damp. I suppose is the best way of putting it. But this is what I hate about wet weather racing. The action sort of goes away. But,
yeah, it definitely does.
That intensity goes away too. But I'm sure it's pretty intense in the cockpit though, driving around a circuit while it's raining. Plenty of stuff you have to deal with.
Yeah, I can tell you that because I think it's the first wet race we're seeing in Pacific this season. In Tier 1, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. I can tell you in my case in Euro Series we have had like 4 races, all 4 were like wet.
Ouch.
Either full wet or like half wet, half dry. But yeah, we had wet races.
Oh, that's never fun. It's so tedious. You have to be so careful with the throttle, with the brakes. You have to be careful with the steering. You have to be careful not to have an accident. That's always a difficult one. As Karma's got to run, as Fiery Hour's got to run on Karma. Oh, I don't think he's close enough to make a move into 11. He just doesn't have the momentum to try and get by, I think. And he stays behind the McLaren. Nice camera shot here, looking at turn 11 and the preceding turn 10 and the turn 12, the corner that follows. Oh, fairly close. Yeah, no. But, I think everyone's sort of... Oh, hello. Trying to go down the inside of Karma, and he gets it done at the final corner. Unfortunately, the outboard shots didn't really show that too well. I wish I clicked onboard, but I didn't. Fiery Hour is through. He's into P6. Now Crichton's closing in on Chip. Gap is under a second. Hovering at about 6/10 or so as they head around turn 3. I have to say, I've seen Crichton do some spectacular things in wet weather conditions. I think if I recall correctly, there was a Formula 2 race I commentated at Spa, where qualifying, it was raining. And the sheer level of control he had over that car was just insane as he moves into 4th place. Like, he could take poo on in such a way you just couldn't believe what you were seeing. He was sideways but travelling so quickly at the same time. I said while I was watching it, I was like, oh, he's made a mistake. He's had a big slide there. When in fact he gained time.
Yeah.
He can just do some really, really amazing things.
Yeah, exactly. You can see it here as well. He's wiggling a lot, but he's not losing time. Like,
no.
He has to have a lot of confidence in himself, in his car. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
And you actually noticed that last week at Silverstone, how much rotation he gets, how much he slides the car. And he's putting that to full effect here, it seems, at Paul Ricard. He's got a fair bit of work to do. He's 4th place. He's got a 2.5 second margin to Leo, but I reckon he'll be able to claw that up. As these three are having a scrap, Bags, Roscoe Arm and Spilly. They head around turn 1, around turn 2. You know, it's always amazing to watch a really good driver at work in wet weather conditions. Or in tricky conditions. It's always fascinating. Because you just see their raw skill in action. And you just can't help but wonder, how can I not do that? What's stopping me from doing that? Why don't I have all this natural talent? Yeah, it's always great. And, I thought Spilly was going to get a run, but no, he's still in 11th. Yellow flags are out. That's Tinselman. Poor fella. He's still going though. He's still soldiering on. Which is the main thing. Got to keep going. That's actually something I've noticed with you Europeans, particularly in top split racing. As soon as there's an accident, instant rage quit. There's no recovering. If there's a mistake, if you break a front wing, it's retirement, instant. You're out.
I'm really proud I'm not one of those guys. Like last Tuesday on Silverstone, I had 2 broken front wings, 4 pit stops, and still ended up 2nd.
Oh,
so
how about
that's
that?
the race when I told, okay, never give up.
Never ever give up. That's it. Remember that, chat. Those who still watch, still watching, I should say. Never ever give up. Got to keep going because you just never know. This is Formula 1 league racing, online league racing. You just never know what's gonna happen next. So just got to keep digging.
Crichton is really close. Yeah.
Crichton's doing Crichton. He's just no other way of putting it right now. He's just driving. He's driving at the moment. It's almost within a second of Leo. I wonder what Leo's attitude would be. Will he try and hang on as best he can? He's fighting for a podium finish.
Yeah.
So, oh, yellow.
Looking at the lap times, he's gaining like 1 second per lap to Leo. So 40.3 for Crichton on the last lap, 41.4 for Leo on the last lap.
Right. I mean, Leo can try, but that raw pace, I don't think he can defend from that sort of pace. Like, this is a legit Mercedes versus Alpine battle right now. Like,
yeah.
Leo needs to become the embodiment of Fernando Alonso, like right now. He needs to become Fernando in this very moment.
Yeah.
And that's going to be difficult because this track, it's a bit easier to pass compared to a place like the Hungaroring. So I'm not saying it's much easier, it's just a little bit easier.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I rest with Leo, and he's really hard to overtake. Like, he defends really well. So, let's see. I haven't got the pace that Crichton has. But, yeah.
Has he got enough defensive racecraft to hold off Crichton? Oh, as Crichton has a moment. How are you gaining time? You were sideways at the exit of 7. How did he gain time? How's that possible? Where's the logic in that? He had no traction. He was sideways. He was going... He does it again! Look at that gap. It shrinks by a couple hundredths. It's illegal. No, Michael, it's not right. It is so not right.
And I tell you that, I've watched, like, many quick drivers having lead races, but I think he's the only one who's got this style. Like, apart from esports drivers, of course, but like I've seen many other leagues and maybe drivers who are even quicker than him, but none of them have got this driving style. It's amazing.
I think I've only seen one that's similar to Crichton's, a man by the name of Alpin, who likes the Taily setup. He's actually got, I think, the fastest time in TT around Jeddah with a 1:11 wing setup. Actually, no, 11.1. Sorry. So 11 on the front wing, 1 on the rear wing. It's insane what he can do with that, and he's the top on the leaderboards in time trial. Kind of amazing. But yeah, for my experiences as a commentator, Crichton is up there with some of the best I've seen. I've seen a lot of talented drivers from the Americas, drivers such as Alpum and BRT Fass,
watch out.
Nicholas! Oh, Leo, he's going for it. I love it. Yes. The Great Wall of Alpine is about to be deployed. And Crichton, he's going for it around the outside at turn 10. Oh, and he switches back to the inside for 11. Oh, he tries to send it, and he's got that inside. He finds all this grip. They make wheel-to-wheel contact, but Leo gets the drive out of turn 11 and keeps third. Crichton sends it. He's going to be compromised at the apex. Leo tries to get the switchback working. He's got the inside line for turn 14. He moves himself back into third place. Crichton, though, fights around the outside. Heading around the final corner now at 15. Crichton, he goes deep. Leo will try and get the switchback as Crichton, oh, the wily fox that he is, parks it on the apex. But look at the drive. Look at the power Leo gets. He draws alongside the Mercedes as they head down towards turn 1. They make a little bit of contact, and Leo's back through. He is back through. Crichton tries to get the over-under at the exit of turn 2. They head down towards turn 3. Crichton, will he try and send it here? Oh, he's trying, but Leo's having none of it. What a defensive masterclass from Leo. He's well and truly turned into Fernando Alonso. Exiting turn 5. Around turn 6, Crichton tries to go down the inside. He's looking left and right, but he cannot find a way past the Alpine. Oh my goodness, fantastic. As they head down the Mistral Straight towards the Mistral chicane, the gap opens up to 4.5 tenths between Leo and Crichton. They head around turn 9. The exit, a bit of a wiggle there from Leo, but he pulls away. He gets a fairly decent amount of traction as, Crichton's dumping a bit of battery there to close the gap to Leo. Chip is just behind, 1.8 seconds behind. He's got Fiery Hour for company as they head around turn 11 as well. There they are there, the Red Bull and Mercedes, battling for P5 on track. Now Crichton, he'll close back up. We've seen the speed that he's got. He will close back up, but he has to try and work away to try and get by as Roscoe spins at turn 10. And he'll get back onto the race. Well, hello. As they're side by side at the exit of 15. Crichton tried to fight at the final corner. It hasn't worked. He's still behind the Alpine of Leo. Around turn 1. Then this has given Wogboy and Ford a chance to hang on to P1 and 2. That's what this has done. He has literally done an Alonso from Hungary.
Oh, that's
this
amazing.
is a mega effort. All right. Oh, what are we going to see now, folks? What are we going to see? Bags gets a 3-second time penalty. Crichton, he needs a run out of 6 here.
And he has it.
Yes, he most certainly does. What can Leo do? Has he got any battery? He's got heaps of battery. He's got about 50-odd%. Wrong button. Yeah, 40-odd%. Crichton looking around the long way at 8. He'll give him the inside line at turn 9. He's fighting. They make wheel-to-wheel contact. Who gets to drive out of the corner? It's fairly even as they head back onto the Mistral straight. Leo gets the nose in front. Crichton can't fight it. He has to slot back to 4. They head around turn 10, down towards turn 11. Crichton cannot do a thing. He is stuck behind for now. He might try and send it down the inside at 12 again. But if he does, he needs to get the traction on the corner exit. There we go. Oh, he doesn't commit to it fully this time. He stays behind.
Leo knows it. Leo knows it now.
Oh my goodness. What a scrap. Around turn 14, around 15. Crichton tried sending it here. It didn't work, so he stays behind. And it seems that Fiery Hour has lost ground to Chip as well in the meantime. So that battle has settled down for P5. 3 laps to go. 25, 26 and 27. That's all we have left. Heading down towards...
I think what Credon needs to do now is recharge the battery and try on the last lap.
Yes, I
Unless he
completely
makes a
agree.
mistake.
Because that's all he can fight for now. Is third. First and second are too far away at this point. He's using battery, and Leo moves to try and break the toe. Using a little bit of battery, switching it on and off. Trying to keep up with Leo, but not consume too much battery. Around turn 8. Then turn 9. Oh, sideways! A little bit sideways there from Crichton. But he's dumping a bit of battery there to try and close that gap back up. Around turn 10. Down towards 11. That's a big sideways moment from Crichton. But a great save. Around turn 11. They head towards 12. Crichton, I think he'll just stay behind. I reckon you're right, Alex. He's going to stay behind for a bit, save up a bit of that battery. Trouble is, when you leave it last minute, if you don't get it right, that's it. There's no more time. Oh, hello! Trying to send it again at the final corner. They make contact again. And once again, Leo hangs on to third. He gets better traction out of the hairpin. He stays on the podium. 2 laps to go. Down towards turn 1. The gap is 1/10. Crichton tries to swoop around the long way. He'll give him the inside line to 2. What a move from Crichton. He's into P3. It required a ballsy move. An outlandish move from Crichton. Leo's not done, though. Oh, I reckon he was thinking about going back down the inside at 3 there. I reckon he had a few thoughts about it. But he stays behind. But it required one amazing move from Crichton. Right round the outside to try and take P3. But now he has the goal of trying to keep Leo at bay. And we saw earlier, Leo's got a fair bit of battery at disposal. And look at him close in with the slipstream, with the battery. He's not close enough to attack into 8, not yet. As they head around turn 9, can he get the drive? Can he get the power down? It's nice and tidy from Leo, and he does get the power down. He closes that gap up a little bit more. Crichton trying to break the toe, fairly unsuccessful. As they head around turn 10 for the second last time. Down towards 11. Look at Leo close in as they head around the right-handed sweeper. Oh, tries to get the nose down the inside. Can't get it done there. Heading up towards turn 12. Have to take a nice late apex as Spilly overtakes Bags for P9. Gets a fairly tidy exit. They're fairly even in terms of pace at this moment. Another wiggle. My goodness, he had a wiggle at the exit of 13. How do you have a wiggle there? As the leaders begin the final lap, it is Ford out in front, followed by Wogboy, then Crichton. It's a G-Force 1, 2, 3. And the only man who can stop that is Fernando. Leo is a weirdo. Alonso, right here in 4th. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, as soon as I opened my mouth, he gets a 3-second time penalty. Oh, you're joking.
Commentator jinx.
Oh, commentator's curse. Working very nicely tonight. Good
I
to
actually
see.
don't understand. I don't understand how Crichton's art can sustain this level of adrenaline in every single corner, like catching this oversteer every single corner. Like, what a move! What a move! And yeah, it was
Round
amazing.
the outside of one. In wet weather conditions. I don't say this often. That was Senna-esque. Right there. 1993 Donington. That was astonishing. I don't know how he pulled that off. He used every bit of his natural talent to pull that off. And that's the move required to overtake Leo Alonso. That's amazing. It's been a very nice drive, though, from Mr. 40 out in front. He'll take quite a nice victory here. He makes his way onto the straight for the final time. Some celebratory wiggles there. As Cavudi has had a spin at turn 10, I think 40 will win the French Grand Prix. Followed by Wogboy. A mega effort from Wogboy. Truly, in every sense of the word. Crichton will finish on the podium in P3, and Leo crashes the car as he crosses the line. Oh, and Chip goes into the back of him. And Chip will actually take that 4th place because of penalties. So Leo down to 5th, Fiery Hour in P6, then Karma in 7th. Then it'll be Spilly, then Bags in P8 and 9, and Grim Reaper complete the top 10, I think. Well, actually, no, it'll be Scotty. Will it? Yep, Scotty. Jumps up to P9, actually. So Bags down to 10th. There'll be Roscoe on P13. Cavudi in P14. After having a spin, he was 10th. Entering the final lap, but he had a spin at turn 10. Poor fella. But he's in the points. And completing the points will be Gilles, and he's got Tinselman for company, but Tinselman, he's got 6 seconds worth of penalties. So he'll finish in 16th. Just missing out on some points. So they head on to the main straight. But, no, that was well and truly a fantastic battle we just witnessed there between Crichton and Leo. Made the race entirely, that battle. Fantastic. Chip, given driver of the day. We'll see his performance in the final results screen. But first, it's Podium Celebrations. Well done, 40. A nice victory here in Le Castellet. Sure he'd be very happy with this. Wogboy taking P2. Crichton completing the podium, making it a G-Force 1, 2, 3. There we are. Look at that, 1.8 seconds at the end of this one. Wasn't much separating the top two, but it was a nice effort from 40. Look at that, from 14th to 2nd. Big effort from Wogboy. He made up 12 places. Kind of surprised he wasn't given driver of the day, as Chip made up the same amount of places, but finished in 4th. But there you go, that's the game. And Crichton completes the podium in P3. Then Chip in 4th, Leo in 5th, Fiery Hour in P6, Karma in 7th, Spilly in 8th. Then we've got Scotty 9th, and Bags rounds out the top 10. Got Grim Reaper in 11th, followed by G-Force Zach. Then Roscoe Arm, Cavudi, Gilles, Tinselman, average only, who was 1 lap down, and our only retirement from the race, Plebs, after having an accident at turn 12. And this will be 40's first win of the season. He's claimed 2 podiums, a 2nd at Portugal, a 3rd at Silverstone. He's just claimed the top step here in France. There we are. Ah, good stuff. Right. We'll invite the 3 in about a minute I'll get to the showroom first, get that all sorted. Oh, that was good fun. That was,
It was
good fun. I enjoyed that. Right, I'll be back in just a few moments. We'll invite the 3 drivers in. Though I think World Boy might not chat. We'll find out. Because Wog Boy, he doesn't do interviews. He's a very quiet man. Does his talking on the racetrack. That's what he does. He most certainly did today. Oh, I've got to scroll all the way down because Crichton doesn't like being online. There he is. All I have to do is find G-Force and then, yeah. Pretty simple. There's a few of them.
Yo, what's on, boys?
Oi! Hello, Crichton.
hello.
Hello.
Hello,
bloody hell.
Fordy.
If you watch that, Bailey?
Yeah, no, that was nice.
But,
Just went deep, got inside.
I don't know about Wog Boy. He doesn't do interviews too often, so...
There we go.
We might...
He's in.
Oh, is he?
You might get a couple words out of him. Here he is.
Oh my goodness. Wog Boy. Hello. Hello. Good. We have all 3 of you here. G-Force 1, 2, 3. Happy days.
Let's go, boys.
Happy days for the G-Force scam. That's good to hear.
It's been a while.
That's We'll start off from 3rd. We'll make our way up to the top. So we'll start with you, Mr. Crichton. Put the car on the front row.
Yeah.
Your teammate pipped you to the post, though, by only 1/10 of a second.
Yeah.
And then you had the race. Why don't you take us through your little weekend here in France?
Alrighty, so quali first run went slightly wide, got invalid, so I was like, oh, you know what, it's all going to be on the middle run here, and managed to put together quite a nice banker. I was very, very happy, and then last run, just the rear just wasn't, I don't know, just wasn't really connected to the front of the car, so it was kind of loose everywhere, as I'm sure you probably saw, so...
Yeah, your delta certainly suggested something.
There was certainly a couple more tenths than that, but I wasn't too sad starting P2 here at France.
But got the lead, if I remember. Got a pretty good start. Led the way. Unfortunately, starting on the soft tyre put you back quite a bit when the rain came about.
Yeah.
And then you had your you had your climb up through the field, Hamilton style. And then you met the Great Wall of Alpine.
Yeah.
How was that battle with Leo?
Yeah, firstly, that first stint was really good. I just tried to push away, managed to break away, had slightly better pace than Bailey, so I was like, yep, this is sweet. But then I knew the rain was coming, and I was like, oh, yeah, we'll just stop. I'd rather not have another tyre blow on me. But, yeah, went back in the field, and I was like, come on, Zach, you know, we could try and catch up from long way back. And, yeah, we caught up to Leo, and I thought, oh, you know, it could be a bit of a battle here. But, you know, racing Leo, I know that there was respect the whole time. It was just awesome, just wheel-to-wheel action the whole time, and yeah, managed to get him into turn 1 and round the outside, which I was pretty stoked about that move, actually.
So were we in the commentary box.
Because that was, yeah, I think I was about probably a car length and a bit behind, and I just sent it in there, and yeah, it stuck, and yeah, that was probably the corner I knew that I had to get him, because then I had turn 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, just to try and break away a little bit, and yeah, we just managed to get that done, and yeah, we came away with P3, but nice job to Wogboy and Bailey on P1 and P2, so yep.
But no, I thought with the raw pace that you had, I didn't really see anyone trying to hold you up. I just couldn't, because you just, my God, you're quick.
Oh, yeah.
Just.
I was trying, I'll tell you that. I was on the edge. I was sliding a lot everywhere. I was like, you know, I thought maybe I could catch Bailey, but then as I slowly worked my way forward, I was like, 3 seconds, 4, 5 seconds, probably can't really do it with 7 laps to go. So I was like,
you were having moments and places where I've never had a moment in my life, and you're still finding time. Just Wait,
Yeah.
there was a moment I picked up. You had a moment at 7 leading onto the straight. You were sideways. And you were still gaining time on Leo. I couldn't
Yeah.
compute what I saw. That battle you had was fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing
Right.
and stuff. Like, there was nothing really dirty at all. Like,
No.
like a little bit of wheel rubbing, but, you know,
You get that.
it's raining.
Yeah.
It's hard to stop, but
Absolutely.
nah,
That was great. And it's
love
good to-
racing Leo, so yeah.
That's good to hear. But Alex, anything to ask Mr. Crichton?
Well, it was a roller coaster race for you. Like really good qualifying, but then like when he pitted on lap 7, I said, "Oh my!" And then it started raining like 30 seconds afterwards.
Oh, as soon as
And
I
was
drove
like-
out, it started raining.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe like I was thinking that like it could have been a better idea, maybe switching to softs, like going from soft to soft.
Yeah. Yeah, like now looking back, I reckon 100% going softs, it probably would have allowed me to be maybe a couple of seconds closer. So, yeah, who knows, maybe we could have had a little battle there with, with Wogboy, but yeah, no, we'll take P3, especially when Spilly's P8, so yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, you take a healthy amount of points
Yeah.
away from your rival.
Yeah, so we finally caught up after that round 1 spill.
You will definitely take the lead in the championship after this one, I would think. You were only separated by 2 points, so
2 points, yeah, so I should have a little lead there.
yeah. Final question. Next week, Spa. Thoughts?
Oh, alright, Spa. Yeah, I think I don't go too bad there. Racing there, I think we've had another few awesome battles over the years there at Spa. I think Revs and myself there, a few last lap duels there before, so certainly looking forward to that one, and Slipstream Fest up, you know, what's called the Camel Straight, so yeah, looking forward to that.
Yep, fair enough. But no, congratulations on your P3 finish.
Cheers.
A lot of hard work to get it.
Sweaty as.
Sweaty, mate. No, congrats. But we'll move on to P2. Wogboy, what an effort, mate. I mean, qualifying... well, I suppose qualifying didn't really matter in the end, did it? You got those fresh tyres to start on, you made your way forward, and you'd ended up taking second place in the race. I would ask you how did qualifying go, but I feel it's a tad bit redundant, starting from 14th. But, yeah, how was the race for you out there on track? I had a feeling, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you two had a bit of a scrap out there and at the front. That was pretty... it was alright. Well, it lasted. Watching the intervals, watching you two have at it. It was pretty decent during the mid phase. But, were you surprised how early the rain did come? You selected the hard tyres, but the rain came about lap 10. Well, as early as 8, actually. Yeah, it came. I got a weather report from... Oh, goodness, I can't remember. I'll have to check the stream again. But yeah, it said about 30 minutes in. It was definitely a lot earlier than 30 minutes. But as Alex pointed out, it's approximate weather, not perfect weather. So, it was Scotty. That's who said it. But no, I imagine you're pretty stoked with a P2 result. Big bundle of points. Alex, anything to ask Wogboy?
I've got anything to ask, but like really well done. Because I would have done the same in terms of strategy if I was you. Was a really good recovery from qualifying, and I think you've done really well out there. So GG.
But final question in a similar vein to Zach. Next week is Spa. What's your thoughts? Fair enough. Oh, bit of a wild factor. We'll find out. But no, Fair enough. And we'll see you dial it in. Come out towards the front. But no, superb effort tonight, Wog Boy. Congrats on the P2 finish. But we move on to our race winner, the third different race winner of the championship, 40. Welcome back.
Hello.
You said you wanted to come back. You can come back with a win.
That's it. You remember last week. That's, yeah. No, I'm good to be here. So,
P3
finally
in
on the
quali.
top step.
P3
Yeah.
in quali.
Yep.
Not bad. Not bad at all, considering the two qualified in front of you.
No, I on my quali lap, the final one, I was pushing quite a bit. I think I was already on a like 29 flat, and I saw those boys were in the high 28s, so
Yep.
I pretty much put it all into my first two sectors. Got a couple of oversteery moments that would have lost me time though. So yeah, I guess by the time the third sector came around, I was still a little bit up on my time, but I knew Spilly had already completed his lap about 3 minutes before the final run. He wasn't getting another one.
Yep.
And I saw he'd done like I think it was a mid-9 or something like that. So I was on track to beat that, so I thought, you know what, keep it composed through the final sector, just get the lap through. Those two mercs can have the front row.
Fair enough.
And I'll just try find P3.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, you were a tenth and a half up in the first sector, if I remember. It was something like that.
The first sector splits as you're coming around the long right, hey, just before you hit the little kink.
Yeah, it's in between
Yeah.
turn 5, the hairpin, and turn 6.
Yep. So, coming out of that lob right-hander, I got a massive snap of oversteer, and again, that kind of tied into my left-hander, the left-hand king, so I had to lift coming onto the straight a little bit.
Oh, right.
Not to get invalidated. So I would have lost, probably a bunch of time there. But yeah, my first sector was really good. It was more so that second sector where I probably lost most of my time.
Because, I remember I checked back on you because you and Crichton were fairly close together on track during qualifying. So I flipped in between you two, and I remember you were then, I think, half a tenth down at the end of sector 2. So that
that's where I
explains
would
it.
have.
But how was the race for you out there today?
Yeah, it was good. I didn't get the best. Well, when I say best start, so I didn't get the start I would have liked.
Didn't get the start that Crichton got.
Yeah, exactly. Plebs got in my way, unfortunately. I wouldn't say like he necessarily slowed me down, but when Plebs was there, Zach, I noticed he dumped pretty much his whole battery. He got out that second, and once he got out that second, you know what happens then. So,
he disappeared. He checked out.
Yeah, exactly. And I definitely think Zach had a pace advantage on me this race. I think with DRS I would have been able to keep with him quite easily.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're just like 2 or 3 tenths a lap quicker, it does add up. So I think that's what Zach had on me today. And yeah, once he was out that DRS, he probably should have won. But my Hamilton tyre conservation mode came in, I guess. And,
Bailey, what was your tyres on?
They did get up to 86% on the left side, both tyres.
Mate, I would have went at 70 on my luck.
So yeah, they were very between that and the wet I was driving in, I was pretty much on roller skates. I think the rain came at a perfect time, I have to say.
Yeah, fair enough. But then that wet weather drive, passing Wogboy, and then just home to the checkered flag. Fairly simple
I guess.
that.
That wasn't Wogboy didn't make it too difficult for me, which was nice. And then once I saw Zach's Delta, you know, Zach's mind the profanity sometimes does some dumber shit. So when he's pushing hard, I kind of know there's a couple more tenths left in my laps. And so yeah, I saw he was kind of gaining on me, not quite a second a lap, but you know, like upwards of a second. So I thought, yeah, there's definitely more time in here somewhere. I guess started driving a little bit quicker. Obviously not as quick as him again, but I was kind of sitting at that 3/10 mark, a bit slower than him. But it was enough to obviously keep Wogboy behind and yeah, just consolidate P1, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. But Alex, anything to ask 40?
Well, last week you said you wanted to win, and you did. So I think you should say it again for Spa next week.
Spa's not one of my favourites, but I will win it, I guess. So,
Oh, really?
That's neat.
yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I have to agree with you because like Spa in F1 2021 is a really bad track compared to like Gran Turismo and other games. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, how was it like to drive with 80% tire wear like on the softs, like where
Yeah,
you like struggle.
honestly, it didn't matter how hard I turned the car or how much I broke. It was pretty much just skating everywhere. I realised that once Zach went in the lap before me, you know, there's no point following his strategy. Otherwise, I'm just going to finish behind him.
Yeah.
And I guess you always go into a race to try and win it. So there's no point, kind of just following that. So
Fair enough.
went on my own little accord, and thankfully, yeah, the F1 gods were my favourite tonight. I can't lie. I think I got blessed a little bit.
But I was going to ask you your thoughts on Spa, but I reckon I've got a pretty decent idea of what your thoughts on Spa
Yeah,
are.
no, it's I don't mind the track, like driving it. I'm just not fast at it. So yeah, I think that's where my problems are.
That's way too relatable, 40. Oh my god. That is way too
It's a cool
relatable.
track, I can't lie, but yeah, when you see Zach going around 4 tenths, 5 tenths quicker than you, it's a bit disheartening.
It's demoralising, yeah.
Yeah.
I completely understand that. Well,
I
best
can
of
actually
luck.
drive with one hand. He's up, years.
But, well then, best of luck then. Next
Thank you
week.
very much.
Hopefully
Thank you.
it goes alright for you.
Hopefully I'll be talking to you lads again if everything goes well.
Positivity, I like it. Well, congratulations on your first victory in Season 6 Pacific Tier 1.
Nah, thank you. Jeez.
But, I think, everybody, that will wrap up the stream. Not a bad one, I'd say. We had some boring moments in between, but that's only because in wet weather racing it tends to be rather dull, and then Crichton came about and, well, he fixed that. And then Leo just added on to the spice of the whole thing, and I reckon that's going to be the battle of Season 6, I reckon. Like, if two drivers going at it in the wet as well, good fun. All of it was good fun to watch. But I think they'll wrap everything up. Tune in throughout the week, as we still got plenty of racing to come here on Race Spec Esports, but for Pacific Tier 1, we'll have to wait until next week. Until then, I've been Lane Everingham. My co-commentator for night is Alex Pato, and we'll see you next week for round 6 of the championship at Circuit de Spa Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. Goodbye.